All are we is one. All are we is one. What does this statement mean to you, ladies and gentlemen? This statement is the very embodiment of the land we call Trinidad and Tobago, the essence of our people, for we are a diversified unit, a combination of varying races that bring with them music and dance, cuisine, and it can also be seen in the many public holidays we have that symbolizes the appreciation for the contribution of the various ethnic groups. We share a similar history, one that is stained by colonialism. I would like to bring your attention to an article written by one Walton Luklai named New In-Out Migration and Indentureship. He stated that after the abolition of slavery in 1807, the colonial powers that no longer had the slaves to work their lands, so a new era came to be called indentureship. Chinese and Indian migrants were brought to the British West Indies between 1838 and 1918, where they took up the work of the ex-slaves. Luklai went on to say that the sugar plantation had never operated as a source of benefit, progress, or comfort to the laborer. He had merely utilitarian value in a society dominated by capitalist preoccupations and which saw him as a production unit. With that said, due to both the psychological and physical trauma the ex-slaves experienced, the thought of working in the very lands that were once their prison was repulsive, and so they refused to stay on the plantations, and hence the birth of indentureship. Although the East Indians weren't whipped and enslaved, they were paid poor wages and treated less than. We had one common bond. We shared the same oppressor. In the time of great men, labor leaders, and trade unionists, Andrew Arthur Cipriani, Adrian Cola Rienzi, and Tubal Uriah Buzz Butler, this was the very same oppressors trying to enslave us, but in a different way. Call it modern day slavery. Cipriani, Rienzi, and Butler were men of different ethnic groups, educational backgrounds, early career pursuits, and upbringing. However, they shared a similar goal, the betterment of the working class of Trinidad and Tobago. They fought against the exploitation of workers, not only within the oil field industry or sugar plantation, but also non-industrial work. Cipriani championed causes such as old age pension, women's rights, a minimum wage, compulsory education, and an end to plantation child labor and the end of the crown colony system. Whereas Cola Rienzi championed workers in the sugarcane industry in central Trinidad. Apart from his fight against the exploitation of workers as a lawyer, he also pushed rights for Indo-Trinidadians, helping them to secure more employment in the public service and recognition of Hindu and Muslim marriages, just to name a few. Whereas Uriah Butler's focus was on oil field workers, the ill treatment of them, poor incentives, poor wages, little or no job security. These three men started the first stirrings of us paving our way to independence in Trinidad and Tobago. As I said earlier, all are we is one. The truth of this statement can also be seen in the history of our music. Musical pioneer and calypsonian, our beloved Ras Shorty I, developed a new genre called soca in the late 1960s, early 1970s, which the sole purpose was to bring Africans and East Indians together through our shared love of music. He fused African rhythms and East Indian rhythms together to create soca. He transferred the rhythms of the East Indian dolka to the African drums. It was said that the music produced was called Dogla rhythm. The original spelling of soca, S-O-K-A-H, the ka in soca represented that of the East Indians' origin. What we know as soca today, S-O-C-A. His goal to bring the two races together was met, but not initially. However, in 1974, he was successful. His work was accepted by the both races. It brought us together as Trinbagonians. It provided a unified front and gave us a sense of identity by which we could express ourselves. In conclusion, indeed, all are we is one.